Have you ever seen a politician that has? Let me tell you, the last politician that did that was Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
He sat in front of the cameras in the Oval Office in a cardigan sweater, and he said to the American people, "We cannot double our energy consumption every 10 years. We cannot grow at 7% a year. If we do, we will use more electricity 10 years from now than we have used in the entire history of mankind."
Yeah.
Now, that is the truth,
Yep.
okay? That's the simple law of compound mathematics.
Right.
He was expressing on television what every fifth-grade student should know. He was fired for speaking that on national television.
Well, you know,
and that is why you've never heard it since.
It's so interesting because, I again, not a political person myself, but I think Jimmy Carter was one of the finest presidents we had, and most people living through that hated him. I mean, but, you know, for the same sense, I think, I think Volcker was great doing what he did, raising the rates to where he did. I mean, why aren't we doing this? Why is there nobody but Ron Paul, Karl Denninger, Matt Davio, we're out there trying to spread the word, but why are these politicians, are they just so bought right now? I mean, are we just...
Because they kneel before Zod, okay? I mean, let's face reality here. When Barney Frank comes out there and Kyle that was out here from the Senate, right, saying that he's going to block this Fed audit because he doesn't, he thinks that this is dangerous. Yeah. The truth of the matter is that Kyle is on his knees in front of Jamie Dimon, and Jamie Dimon's pants are around his ankles. And anyone who thinks that anything different than that is what's going on has rocks in their head. That's the truth. And the thing is this, they will continue to play this game until it blows up. And that's the point at which the medicine will have to be taken. We should have done it in 1987. We should have done it again in the 1990s. We should have done it in 2000. We should have done it in 2007. Look, we could have taken a 10% GDP contraction in 2001. Right. We would have had a mild depression and it would have been over.
Right.
Now it's 25 to 30%. And if they keep doing this, it will be 50, and we could lose our country.
That's the thing now is I don't know what they can lever. Now, they did the real estate, they did the stocks. I don't know what they can lever up. I mean, that has yet to surface. Do you see what that could? I mean, is it gold? I mean, where do you see it?
Look, here's the reality. You need an asset bubble bigger than the last one in order to recover the losses taken from the previous. Okay, that's just math.
Healthcare?
There isn't one.
Right. There isn't one.
Housing is tied, residential real estate is directly and indirectly tied to 30% of GDP.
Yep.
Healthcare is 17%. Do the math.
So there's not one bigger. So
there is nowhere to go with this. We're out of rope, and the Federal Reserve has gone to zero. They've played their quantitative easing game. They have not taken care of the bad debt. We could have used when they did the $700 billion bailout, I said, look, if you want to blow $700 billion, which I think is stupid, okay, but if you want to blow $700 billion, you take that and you divide that up into 20 chunks and you charter 20 new banks with $35 billion apiece.
I agree.
And we now have a banking system, right? Because the whole goal is you can't lose the banking system or all commerce stops. You can't let that happen. All right, I accept that. So you take this $700 billion, you charter 20 new banks with the $700 billion. You make the interest rate that has to be paid on it fairly punitive, so they'll have an incentive to go out into the market and replace it quickly. Right. All right? And you tell the J.P. Morgans, the Goldman Sachs, the Citibanks, and Bank of Americas, everybody else, tell them all pound sand. They all go bankrupt. Who cares? Right. We don't care.
Right.
Die, burn, that's it. You're done. And, oh, by the way, we're not going to let the bondholders get reamed. We're going to come in and we're going to do asset valuations right now. We're going to force you into bankruptcy so at least the bondholders get some of their money back.
Right. But write it all down to true market. I mean, that's got to happen. Yeah.
Clear the market, get it over with, and you know what? The shareholders lose all their money. Life's tough.